Yeah. Recording is started, team. So good morning, team. In this BI master program, in today's session, we'll talk about use for each loop activity to copy multiple tables with the pipeline logs and notification. So let's quickly see what exactly the lab looks like, right? So I'll make the things very simple. Instead of get metadata, all those things, so I'll use the lookup activity. So lookup activity will read multiple table configurations, and I'll pass them into the for each activity. So inside for each again, right? So that is up to you. If you want to use the get metadata activity, you can use the get metadata. Then if you want to use the if activity, you can use the if activity. Inside if you have two conditions, basically true conditions, and you have the so you can use the for each inside for each you can use the get metadata activity. So after get metadata activity, you can use the if activity. Okay. Inside if activity, you can see what is that true conditions. Then you can see the false conditions. True condition means if the table is existed, then we will copy the table. Let's say here I have a copy activity. If the copy activity succeeded means I'll take the success logs here. The copy activity is failed means I'll take the failed logs here. Okay. If the yeah, so condition is false means if the table is not available, then what I'll do is I'll use the stored procedure activity to mark that particular table as a failed. Without copying the data, I'll collect the logs as a failed logs, getting. So whatever you are using here, right, failed logs. So same failed logs I will use here to collect all that information. Okay. Once this everything is done, let's say if any activity is failed, basically for each is going to be failed. If so I'm not going to check whether for each is failed or all those things. If the for each is completed, okay, if the for each is completed, so what I'll do, I'll query. Next I will use the again lookup activity here. Again I will use the lookup activity to query whether log table, in the log table, do we have any failed records are captured. If at all if the lookup has fetched the count is greater than 0, I'll check again if condition. Okay, again I will check the if condition, true and false. True means if the count is greater than 0. Greater than 0 means we have some of the failed records. If the condition is a true means I'll send the notification. So this is the web activity notification I'll send. This is the web. This is the if and if activity. Okay, this is basically you can say true. This is false. Okay, so this is again lookup. This is lookup. Okay, this is for each. This is get metadata. This is if activity. This is copy. Okay, this is success SP. Success SP means success stored procedure. This is failed SP, failed stored procedure, and this is again a success. Yes, sorry, this is again a failed SP. I'm going to run here. Okay, failed SP. Clear all of you? Now, how to implement this? I'll tell you. See, first understanding the things is very important. So I'll try to copy data from SQL database to SQL database. While loading multiple tables, I'll try to capture the audit logs, pipeline logs. If at all any table is failed, I'll check if at all any table is failed. If any table is failed means I'll trigger the notification, otherwise I won't. Okay. Everybody understood the requirement. Please let me know if anybody is not clear on the requirement.
So the first if is to see if the table exists or not.
If
The first if in the for each box, after get metadata, there is a if statement. Is that to see if the table exists or not in the SQL database?
Correct.
What is
Correct. For that
okay?
only, get metadata returns true or false. True means table existed. False means table not available. We are checking in the if activity. Condition is true. True means table existed. Copy and then run the success or failed SP here. Okay. If it is a failed means like condition is false means so failed SP I'll run to capture that record also considered as a failed. Okay.
Okay. And the success and failed inside the copy is for what?
Success SP and failure SP is for capturing the pipeline logs. If copy is successful, collect the successful copy logs.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Yeah, any other questions, please let me know.
And just and then again it is looking up. So it's just looking up whatever is copied on the
No,
copy,
no.
the output of the copied.
In the pipeline log table, it will look up. Okay, pipeline log table where status equal to status equal to failed, or you can say status is failed, and run ID equal to pipeline run ID. Current in the current run, because this will give the current run ID, right? In the current run ID, we already collected the logs. In these logs, any record we have a status is failed in the current run. Any record is captured as a status as failed. We are taking. If this pipeline log table already captured it, let's say 10 tables out of 10, 8 is succeeded, 2 is failed means what? Pipeline log table status will be failed. For the current run, it will return a 2 records because 2 are failed. So it will check true. Condition is when it will be true is if the lookup count is greater than 0. Greater than 0 means if you have a 1, 2, 3 means when we get a count which is nothing but those are the number of tables which got failed. Based on that, I'll run the web activity. Let's say 10 out of 10 tables succeeded, then failed status will be 0. So if the condition is 0 means false, I'm not doing anything. Getting?
Okay. Yeah. So if 5 tables have failed, then the web activity will trigger 5 times or just
Not
once?
5 times. Why it will run 5 times? We are not putting inside the for each, right? See, I am outside of the for each.
Okay.
Only one time it will trigger. That's why we kept
Okay. Okay.
outside. If you are putting inside, it will run 5 times.
Sure. So maybe it will send an email just once and mention
Correct, correct.
the failed. Okay.
Clear?
Well, is there any global try-catch like functionality like in SSIS, where, for example, something fails, there will be catch at the global level, like at a pipeline level?
Can you repeat your question once again?
Yeah, currently, whenever any activity fails, we try to figure out, we do the logging, right, at every individual activity level. Instead, if I want to just, if any activity fails, I just want to abort my pipeline and also register where exactly it failed. So is it possible for me to catch this at a pipeline level, just like a try-catch block?
Yes, yes, you can do that also.
Okay, all right.
You can do that.
So you will discuss it.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with the lab. So everybody understood, right? I hope everybody is clear on the things. Very carefully observe, okay, each and every step that I'm doing. So basically, I'll try to club everything that we discussed in today lab, including the key walls, everything, even if it is taking more time. But if you practice this lab, which gives you complete knowledge on whatever we have learned as of today. So Cloud Pandit, just spend more time because it takes more time definitely today. So you need to spend 10-15 minutes, etc. for today. Okay? SQL database. So I'll say source SQL DB. Server is I'm creating Cloud Pandit, source SQL server, put the username, your password, click OK. So then you know, right, you need to go to configure database, click on budget friendly instead of going with the vCos, which is very costly. Instead of 30,000, if you go here and select the budget friendly, it will just give you a for the 1156 rupees. Then don't click review plus create. This is the source, right? Source and I am enabling the multiple tables. Instead of we creating tables, we can get multiple tables automatically. Click review plus create. Click create. So source and multiple tables are going to create. Now I'll go and create our sink. Sink is also what? Sink is also SQL database, or what you want to create?
SQL database.
SQL database.
Yeah, let's create SQL database only. Create SQL database. Anything you can choose. See, you need to just understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, what source you are using, what sink you are using, doesn't matter. So all the labs you can do. Okay. Cloud Pandit.
Himalaya, is it meant to like landing to the staging or something like that, or staging to the data warehouse?
No, this is just I am showing you. You can just think as a on-premise SQL server to the Azure SQL database. Okay. Click on create new. Cloud Pandit. Sink SQL server. Clear Rama is SQL authentication.
Yes.
So this is username and this is password. Click OK. Again, click on configure database. So budget friendly. Click apply. Review plus create. Click create. Okay. So now source SQL database is created. Sink SQL database is created. Now we will create the. Now we will create what? Synapse. Okay. Go to Synapse Analytics. Create Synapse Analytics. Okay. Cloud Pandit. Okay. Synapse workspace 1606. So account name is Cloud Pandit ADLS 1606. Click OK. Global. Click OK. Just click review plus create. Click create. Okay, next. So I'll create the Azure keyword. Getting team. I'll be creating the Azure keyword and then I'll create logic app. Go to keywords. Create keywords. Resource group is Cloud Pandit -RG. Cloud Pandit AKV 1606. Just click the web plus create. Click create. Okay. Next, go to portal.azure.com once again. Okay. So here you need to go for the logic app. Go to logic apps. Add logic app. So resource group is Cloud Pandit -RG. Cloud Pandit logic app. Okay, so let them be consumption. Click review state. Click it. Okay. Fine. Now this is SQL database. Source SQL database is ready. Sink SQL database is coming up. Synapse, all these things will be available. Now, so source SQL database, I'll connect and I'll keep everything available at the source SQL database, set server firewall. Because all these things individually we have learned, I just go little bit quickly to show you each and everything. Save this. Okay. So IP address and this Azure services and resources to access this server is enabled. Now I want to connect to this particular server from the Azure Data Studio. How to connect is very easy. Click on this. Now take this particular server name, put that server name here. Take this source SQL database, put the database name here. So this is the username, this is the password I'm typing, enter. Here right click on the source SQL server, click new query, click new query here. So if you expand tables, you can see there are many tables that you have. Okay, 1 second. So you remember, right? We can able to create the So first let me create a table configuration. Create table tbl config. Meanwhile, somebody please paste pipeline log table creation of the stored procedure to fetch the pipeline log details. That particular the stored procedure and pipeline creation script, can somebody paste it in the chat please? So source schema varchar 50, source table varchar 50, sync schema varchar 50, sync table varchar 50, okay, is active int load type varchar 50. Okay, let's say full load means all the data will go as it is. Let's say I'm putting insert into tbl config. Values would be like this: dbo, not dbo, sales lt, comma customer table, which I want to load it into dbo customer, and this is active, and it's a full load. Full load means all the data from the table should be copied every day. Okay, this is product, this is product category. Okay, please check on spellings and all. And then sales order detail, it's a trans, okay, trans out, which is inactive. Means I don't want to copy, but it is still there in the configuration. Think of like this. Okay, getting team, how I created table configurations. Run this. Thank you. Who is welcome here? Thank you, whoever pasted this. Okay, fine. So this is the stored procedure how we will create. Can you also paste the table creation? So meantime, I'm just pasting this one here. Okay. So the table configuration, whatever I created, I just kept it here. So this is a stored procedure. If you remember, we discussed already how you can able to set up this particular stored procedure. Now if you people are not sharing, I can able to create the table very easily. Create table. Okay, create table pipeline logs, and just put all these things, and I can able to 1 second. Error message should be 500 s, and run ID should be something 500. So stable cursor written copy start and end time status correct. Okay, the table name synapse name. Okay, at the rate should not be right. Okay. I think this is the right one. Okay, so I am running this. Comma should be there. Yeah, run this. So it is created. Now pipeline log underscore USP. Okay, as not as here. So it should be all parameters has been inserted into the pipeline logs table. Okay, and error message 500. This run ID also 500 I'm giving here, and this is all about the stored procedure. So now I'm putting these two also into my local. Okay, now we have stored procedure, table configuration, whatever is required for the source side we have available. Now let's start with our source is ready, everything we have enabled the server firewalls, everything. Now go to sync side. Okay, enable server firewalls, select your networks, add your client IP, allow Azure services to connect automatically, save this. Okay, so now what I'll do, so first thing, before to copy data from source to sync, what we basically required in Synapse, first we need a linker service. Linker service, how we will create is by storing the keys in the keyword. That's why first let me store the source SQL database and sync SQL database related keys in the keyword. In order to store them in the keyword, go to access control IAM, click add role assignment, keyword administrator, click next, select members. There are two members I need to select. One is cloud pandit@gmail.com. Second thing is my Synapse name. What is the Synapse name? Go to resource. This is Synapse name is, this is a Synapse name. Copy the Synapse name, come to keyword, put that Synapse name here. Okay, select this, save this, and click review plus create. So it is saved. Once this is saved, I can go to the secrets. Okay, I can able to store my secrets here. So now what I wanted to do is to store my secrets here, right? To store my secrets here, I need to create a, I need to go to first, let's store the source side credentials. Come to connection string at the source server, ado.net, come to SQL authentication, copy this, put it in the notepad. So some people, what you people are doing is, suppose password is cloud@123, you are putting like this. You should not put like this. You need to remove this curly brace also. This is the source side one. Copy this, click on this, go to keyword, click generate/import. Here you need to say what? Source SQL connection string. Source SQL connection string, put it, create it. Similarly, come to sync. Sync side also come to connection string. Copy the same thing here, put the same thing here, and here also password. You remove this completely. So sync SQL server, right? Here also I'll say cloud@1. Go to keyword, generate/import. Here you can say sync SQL connection string. Put this, create it. Now keyword thing, everything is done with respect to the keyword. Okay, come to here. Okay, go to 1 second, where we need to go to Synapse Workspace. Yeah. Come down, open Synapse Studio. Okay, so now the first important thing is we will go to Manage tab, go to Linked Services. Let's create two new linked services. One is for SQL Server, SQL Database. It is SQL Database. This is LS for SQL.
For keyword linked services.
Yeah, I'll show you. Very good. But now what you can do is you don't have linked service keyword, right? What you can do is you can select your keyword. It is not displaying. So what you can do, click new. On the fly also you can click new. And you can, what you do, LS for AKV, select subscription, select keyword name this one, test connection, and create it. Once you create the link keyword linked service on the fly, it will display the content. So we need a source SQL connection string. Yes, we can use that. Now test connection. Now how many linked services we are creating at same time? Linked service for keyword, linked service for SQL DB. Now click OK. See, two created at once. Okay, you see, related will inform us this linked service is used in how many places. Click on this. So it is used in the LS SQL DB source. Okay, this related will give that information. Now click new again. I want to connect to the SQL database again. Okay. LS for SQL DB sync, right? Now we will connect to the sync using keyword. This is the keyword connection. Secret is, which secret we need to use? Sync SQL connection, test connection. So connection is successful, created, publisher. Click publish. Because linked services you need to publish it so that we can avoid the issue. See now, this linked service is used in what all linked services you can see. Related. If you click on this related, it is used in the source linked service and it is used in the sync both. Clear team? Are we good till here?
Yes.
Very good. Now let's move on to the data. So let's create a two parameterized data sets, integration data set for SQL database. LS for, not LS, right? It's a DS for SQL DB source. Okay, this is the linked service. Table name is what? Don't select any table. Okay, click OK. So what we need to do, go to that data set, create two parameters because what we need DS param for source schema, DS param for source table. Come to connections, click edit, schema is here, table is here. Okay, now click on this new integration data set, SQL database. I'm creating another data set. Okay, this is for what? DS or SQL DB sync. Very good. The sync linked service. Don't select any table because you already aware sync side we don't have any tables even to display. We need to parameterize and we need to create that dynamic. Okay, DS param for sync schema, DS param for sync table. What you can do, come here, select the, not select, click edit. This is the sync schema. This is the sync table. Okay, clear all of you. Now come here, create a pipeline. So till here you might have hearing here and there every day, but now you see, now we need to go for the lookup activity. So in the lookup activity, what is the use of lookup activity in our today example?
It retrieves data.
Not data, configuration information, right?
Yeah, configure data from the config file.
Very good. Now can you tell me, so from this TBL config, right? TBL config. So do I really require to take this table? Do I really need to take this table or not?
No.
Think and tell me. Meantime, I want to insert one more thing. We should be active, but this table is not there. Employee. So tell me, do I really need to take this record? No, because it's a inactive. Very clearly, it is stating already. So now in that case, I need to filter out where is active, where is active equal to 1. Only wherever we have is active equal to 1, only such type of records only we need to take. Getting, instead of taking select star from trivial config, we will select only we have is active wherever we have 1, only that table I will take. Getting? In order to take that, what I need to do, so first thing, come to settings, you need to uncheck this. As you know already, it will give you one row. Now you choose the source data set, because table config is there at the source set, but I need to fire a query, but the parameters are asking a value. So what you need to do, step 1 is, right, select the query here and put this query here. Put this query here. Okay, now debug, what will happen? So it is so saying that no value provided for parameter, but parameter value is mandatory, but we can't provide the values for schema and table, because we want to fire a query. What you can do is, you can't, if you're not passing anything, it will give you a problem. That's why put empty, single quotes, okay, empty string. Now debug, this will work. Clear? So because we are trying to reuse the same data set instead of using another data set. Okay. Now click on this lookup output. If you see count equal to 5, this is a 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Okay. There are 5 records. Copy these 5 records and put them here. If you look at these details, right? So all these 5 records are active records. Okay. One more thing I forgot to tell you, because this is currently we are implementing which type of load. So we are trying to do a currently, maybe let's say if you have a load type is incremental load, but we want to take only full load. So you need to put this condition also, because you may have the incremental load records also. Okay, but whether you are using this query or this query, one more filter, even if you add, it will not make any difference, isn't it? Click debug. Getting team.
Yes.
Whoever is able to understand this session, they understood all previous sessions. That is the only easiest way to understand how much you understood. Okay, things. Okay. Now these are the 5 things. Now what we want to do here, we want to pass all these values to which activity? For each. So how to pass all this output to the for each? Tell me how to pass.
Lookup value array.
Okay, very good. Lookup output dot value. Okay. Now go inside for each. We want to use a get metadata. What get metadata does? Tell me. What get metadata does?
Gets the metadata of the file.
It takes the source data set and it takes the parameter values. Item dot, because one by one item, from one by one item, it takes the source schema, sales LT dot customer, sales LT dot product, like that. So each table we are passing one by one with the help of the for each. Okay. So what happens? This will get the first time sales LT dot customer, next sales LT dot product, next sales LT dot product category, sales LT dot order sales at employee. So every table we are passing here to check whether this table is existed or exists. What get metadata give? So get metadata give two kind of results. Okay, for each.
True or false.
True or false. You need to check. How to check those things? You remember? Get metadata exists. If you select exist, output dot exist. So if get metadata return to true means true activities we need to run. If get metadata return false means false activities we need to run. True means what? False means what?
True means the
True
file
means
exists. False means the file doesn't exist. I mean, sorry, not file, table.
Row count is greater than 1, greater than 0.
Okay. Any other thing? So click on true. So true means table is existed, false means table not existed. Go to true, table is existed. Now I want to copy the data. Okay, very simple this is. Only thing is you need to practice. Okay, source side item dot what? Source schema. Table is item dot source table. Come to sync. Select a sync data set. Sync schema. What is sync schema? Item dot sync schema. Item dot sync table. Okay. So source side we are reading source schema source table like a sales related customer that we want to load it to dbo.customer, but table is not available. We want to ask to create the table dynamically. Okay, fine. So we are creating the table dynamically. Let's say if the copy activity once it is started copying the data, what we want to do? We need to take whether it is success SP you take. If it is failed, you take the failed SP. Okay, so first let's start on the success SP. So if the copy activity
on source side we should add column for
source side
additional column.
if
Additional
you want to add,
column.
yes, you can do that. Yes, if you want to add something like load date, okay, you can go and add that, not an issue. Okay, see now you can say something like India standard. Okay, click OK. You can do this. Clear all of you? So now success SP. How to run the success SP? You understood that settings. This is the source data set, source linked service we need to use in order to select our stored procedure that we have created. Wait, see pipeline log underscore USP. You can have that, and this is success SP, right? So I'll show you one by one how you can do. So basically, we already had a discussion. That's why I'll quickly do one by one. Okay. Copy duration should be on the copy activity output. So output dot copy duration. Error message. You remember error message? Copy activity dot output dot errors of 0 dot message, right? But this is on success. Success means what? Treat as a null because error message will not be there. Execution end time. How to get the execution end time? On directly on the copy activity, execution end time will be there. Okay. Execution start time. Directly on the copy activity, execution start time will be there. Next, pipeline name. It should come from the system variable pipeline name. I'll select. records read should come from the copy activity output dot rows read. Rows read is a formula. So rows written is nothing but a rows copied. Rows copied. Run ID. Run ID comes from the system variable. Pipeline run ID. Select it. Sync folder name. Little bit we need to change here, right? Maybe instead of sync folder, right, what we can do is maybe I'll just put like this: concat of item dot sync schema dot getting what I'm doing here. Getting team what I'm doing item dot sync schema, meaning sync table and the sync schema both I'm putting in the same table in concatenation. Getting the table name I'm passing as it is into the sync folder. Source schema name should come dynamically at the rate item dot source schema. Check it 1 or 2 times. SRC schema correct. Okay. Sync source table. How to get source table item dot SRC table. Because once the copy act, see for each has given the values to one item to the get metadata, it check existed or not. If it is existed, copy activity will run and then I'll take, meaning these all things are happening inside for each. So that's why these item values will be available. Okay. Next, copy activity status is directly available. And the Databricks workspace, sorry, Synapse workspace is go to system variable down workspace name, you can select. This is on the success. Now what I need to do on the failure, copy clone this, okay, and you can mark it as a fail. So on the failure you have to come here, and on the failure you will have an error message, output dot errors of 0 dot message. You remember we discussed all these things. If you did not remember it, check it. Okay. Records read written will be null because if it is a failed, you will not have records read and written. Okay. This is all about what you have. Okay. Now what we will do, go inside false. False means table is not existed. For not existence table, what I am going to do is not existence table. What I'll do, go to for each. Okay. Copy this.
Get metadata.
Correct. One sec. Not to align. Let me put it as a success SP. This is failed SP. Copy. Go to false. Put here this. And but there are some references you need to remove here. I'll tell you what are those. Come here. See, copy activity will not be there. So duration you can mark it as a null because that is not required for us. Error message you can treat as a null because error message we don't need to give. Execution end time we need to give, treat as a null. Execution start time, treat as a null. Pipeline name, yes, we will get it. Records read, records written, you can treat it as a null. Run ID, yes, we will have a run ID, current run ID. Yes, we have the sync folder name, source schema, source table, and status. Status you need to mark it as hard coded value as failed because status is marked as a failed, right? We need to mark it as a failed. Okay, that is what clear. Whatever references we have for the copy acted, those you can ignore. So now what happens is if I run this, if everything is succeeded, there is no problem. But if at all anything is failed, means one record will be there in the pipeline log table saying that this particular table is failed. Okay. Till here, let's run this. So before I run till here, any question? See, that's what I always used to tell you. Look up reading configuration details, passing to for each. Inside for each, we are using get metadata activity to check table existed or not. If activity is condition is a true, if everything is there, false if the condition is if the table is not there. Inside true, you have a copy activity to copy the data. So because table is existed, then success SP, failed SP based on the copy activity status. But if the table is not available, then I'm just putting one record in the log table saying that one of the record is failed. Okay, getting?
I just have one question. How does the copy activity link to stored procedure? Like, how does it know whether to go to success stored procedure or fail stored procedure?
Here you have, right? The green mark means you can say success. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I forgot to tell you, I'm sorry. It's my mistake. So you need to click on this. This is on failure. Okay. If you put this line means it's a failure. If you put this green line means it's a success. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I need to explain this. Right clicks, put auto align. Clear all of you? See, maybe because I was thinking I have discussed or something. If you have any silly thing also, you try to ask. Okay, then only you will know. See here, your goal is to learn the things. How much you are irritating me, that much questions you need to ask. Then only you will learn. If you are silent means what happens? You will not learn the things. You need to ask the questions. You need to clarify. If you're not understanding same thing 2-3 times, again ask the same question. Okay. If you learn the things, if you are happy, then only I will continue my trainings. Okay. Remember that. Tell me, Tim, any questions? Till here, any questions? Okay, any questions? Okay. So now what I want to do, so basically if you see, everything what we have done is we have collected the pipeline logs as well. Now after for each, I will be using one more lookup. After for each, now I am using the one more lookup. What this lookup does, you see carefully. Whether it is success, for each is success or failed, it doesn't matter. We need to mark this. Mark this means for each may failed for some reason sometimes, so it doesn't matter. So not skip the completion, you need to put, sorry. Okay, if for each is completed, whether it is succeeded, failed, doesn't matter. I'll come to the lookup. In the lookup to, what I'll be doing is fetch failed records. Lookup to fetch failed records. Okay, so how it will fetch the failed records is, see your source data set. So I'm putting this as a empty. I'm putting only query. What it does is select a star from pipeline logs where status is equal to failed should be there, and run ID, because previous runs, if something is failed, I should not take. That's why run ID should be taken dynamically. Okay, because run ID is within the same pipeline we are doing main. Run ID is going to be the same, right? So that's why go to py system variables, select the pipeline run ID. Okay, here team. So what you need to do here is, that's all. I'm passing this query to you in the chat. You can take if you want to.
Like run ID will be same whether the status is failed or success, right?
Correct, but that's why in the current run ID I am taking only failed. That's why two filters I kept. Success or failed doesn't matter. You will have the same run ID, but within this run ID, give me only failed jobs, failed records.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this lookup will give two things: count and value. Count indicates what? Count indicates the number of records. The value indicates the data points, actual data. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll take this lookup. Okay. This lookup to, where is this lookup? Okay. Lookup. Okay. Failed records. What you need to do? Lookup dot. Okay. So I've kept it as a first row only. Uncheck this. Even you can keep it as a first row, doesn't matter. But you can just say fetch count. See here, output.count. So this lookup count I am taking. If this lookup count is okay equals to what I need to do. You know how the greater functions will work. Let me show you. Greater. Okay. So greater function, how it works, you see, returns to if the first argument is greater than the second argument. If the first argument is greater than the second argument, let's say second argument is 0. Okay. So first argument is 0. So then it is not a greater, condition is false. If the first argument is 1, second argument is 0, 1 is greater than 0 or not, condition is a true. If it is a true means yes, there are some records which are failed. Getting this formula, everybody understood?
Yeah.
Clear, team?
So if it's 1,
okay, clear? Any doubts, team? I'm sorry, I got a call. I was talking in call. Any question?
no. So the argument is always 0 in the bracket. Like
Yeah, this is
if
always
it's greater
0. This count will
Okay.
be varying, right? It can be 0, it can be 1,
Yeah.
it can be 2, it can be 3. If the count is 0, if both are 0 means it's not a greater, it will go for the false. If the count is 1 means yes, it's a greater value. First argument, it returns true. So true means what?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, something is failed. So when something is failed, what I'll do, I can simply put the web activity to call the notification. So like yesterday parameterization and all I am not using today. Today I'll be using very simple one. Okay, in this logic app. Let me create the logic app quickly. Sure, Lakshman Gaut. Okay, logic app designer, if you come down, blank logic app. See, today's session, maybe everybody may not be able to understand everything. Go through the today's session and practice it. Okay, request, when HTTP request is received, I'm not putting any, what I can say, body. Directly, I'm hard coding everything. Gmail. So HTTP request I created, and directly. Yesterday we have seen parameterization, how to send the mail and all. Right, so today I'm sending very simple one with hard coded values. So Gmail connection. Sign in. Okay, I will sign in with my cloudpandit@gmail.com. Shit. Let me log in into cloudpandit. So cloudpandit@gmail.com. I'm setting all the notifications from that particular account. Okay. So to list is I'm giving cloudpandit maybe 40@gmail.com, something like that. So if any of your mail ID wants to include here, please give me your mail ID. I'll add here. Okay, body and subject. Subject is so something like this. I'm just outputting. But parameterization, if you can able to do, that will be easy, right? So nobody pinged your mail ID. Yeah? Fine. I'm just including this. Anybody wants to share your mail ID, I'll put it here. You'll get notification if you want to see. Okay. Fine, I think nobody is interested. Fine. That's all. Just to save this. Now copy this mail ID. What I'll do, I'll be just putting that here, and here I'll say post. So there is no body. I'll just say empty body. Okay, that's all, team. So now validate your pipeline whether everything you have done correctly or is there any mistakes. We can validate. Your pipeline has been validated. No errors were found. Okay. Now what you can do? You can just debug. So lookup has read all the details, all which are active. Maybe employee table, if you remember, which is not there, but everything else is captured. For each is checking. Okay, it has given the tables to the get metadata. Get metadata is queued. It is going to check whether table is existed or not. If table is existed, get metadata returns true. So if you want to check, you can check get metadata return to true. That's why if condition is becomes true and it is ran the copy activity, it is running the copy activity. Once copy activity is completed, what happens? Your stored success SP is going to run. So once success SP is running, completed, next for each will give the next item. Get metadata again checks for the, see, get metadata again took the second table. So that is sales entry dot product. This table is available or not, it is checking. Check it, condition it returned to true. If condition evaluates to true and copy activity started running again, once again for the second table. Okay, once this is done, okay, then success SP will run. Okay, you can see the success SP is running. Once this is done, for each will give the third item. So for third item, again get metadata checks whether this table is existed or not. So sales LT dot product category. So get metadata return to true again for this product category. See condition is true. If condition evaluates to true, copy activity is running. It is copying the data. Once that data is copied, okay, success SP is running. Once success SP is completed, then again get metadata will run. So there are 5 items. So same steps will be repeated. Get metadata if copy activity successes. Get metadata if condition copy activity successes. If something is failed, so if you see after this copy is successful, success SP is running. After success SP, next get metadata returns true or false. Last table, employee table. Do we have employee table in the sales LT schema? Do we have that or not? Okay, we don't have that table. Okay, employee sales LT that employee table we don't have. So when we don't have that table, see failed SP ran. Now what happens is for all the pipeline logs are collected. Now lookup is going to run. Next, which activity lookup is running? Lookup will fetch if at all any tables got failed. So, okay, how many tables got failed? The failed table count is only one. That is employee table is not there. So we have inserted one record in the log table as a fail. So now when the lookup ran, see this lookup output, if you see count equal to 1, which record is not there? So sales LT dot employee table, which is not there. So this is the pipeline log details, what we collected. This is the entire log details. In this status is failed. Okay, this fifth. Okay, count is how much? 1, which is greater than what? Which is greater than 1 condition is true. Web activity ran the notification. To which mail ID I send the notification? To the Cloud Pandit 45. So let me just check it. Gmail. It should be 1 second. Thing. Go to Gmail. So you can see pipeline failed. Hi team, please check daily full load pipeline got failed in Cloud Synapse 1606 workspace. I just hard coded. So all the hard coded details I sent mail only to the Cloud Connect 45. So I received the mail notification and it copied everything. Everybody understood the things. So now if you go to the pipe, one second. Now if you go to the pipeline log table, let me quickly show you how the pipeline log table looks like. See, pipeline logs is having 5 records. If you see this record is showing null, 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 and it is failed. Why it is failed, we know. This table is not there. When the table is not there, employee table, I just marked it as a failed. Tell me, remaining for a succeeded.
Every time pipeline is connecting to SQL database, it is using the key vault.
Yeah, key vault is we will use in real time always. So whenever, see, we are not creating daily linked service in real time, right? That is only one time activity. Here I am doing everyday labs, so every day we are creating. Okay. So now, if it is highly recommended to use key vault in real time. Every project, everybody is going to use the linked services. Sorry, key vaults in the linked service to refer their passwords or the storage keys or certifications, etc.
Okay. And other than sending email notifications, what else can be done with logic apps?
I told you clearly yesterday also, we have some labs. We will do all those labs in the future.
Oh,
We have a lot more scenarios that you can able to do with the logic app. You cannot explain 1 or 2 scenarios. Lot of things you can do with the logic app. So in the future, we will see if at all you want to kind of, let's say, once your pipeline is successful and you placed some summary report file you placed in a storage account. Maybe logic app can pick that particular file and send a notification again. Getting. So maybe you can also say something like you have a new trigger file which is placed in the storage account. Okay, so here what we need to do is not only that, we have other scenarios where if somebody send a mail to you, from the mail you can able to fetch the attachments. You can just load it into the blob storage. So when you load it into the blob storage, we have different types of triggers based on, as soon as you place the file, pipeline will kick off and it will start fetching that file and processing that file. Other scenarios are there. We will discuss all these things. Okay. Yeah, any other questions?
Yes, Malay. There are a couple of ways, right, in programming in Synapse. One is using notebooks, or we can use this pipeline. So typically, which approach is preferred in organizations?
See, pipelines we will use always for the data ingestion. Are we transforming any data? Are we updating any column? Are we deriving more columns? We are just accept the load data, 1 or 2 columns. We are not deriving much columns. Are we joining multiple tables? Okay, are we splitting the data? Are we filtering the data? So no, we are not doing many things, right? We are not unioning multiple tables. So all these transformations to do, we have a data flows, we have a dedicated SQL pool, meaning you can use the SQL, we can also use the Synapse. So remember always, Synapse notebook uses Spark. Spark has a lot of advantages with respect to the performance wise. So it is recommended to go with the Synapse notebooks using this Spark. Okay, clear all of you?
Okay, so you mean to say for daily loads, if it doesn't really involve any big data like activity, then we should go for pipeline, because it's an easy
Yes,
way of doing
basically
it.
just to copy the data, we will use the Azure Data Factory or Synapse pipelines. Synapse notebooks or data flows or dedicated SQL pool like a SQL scripts. All these things we will use for data transformations. But as part of the transformation, also data flows and Synapse will use the Spark. But data flows again without writing the code, whereas Synapse with writing the code. If you have a complex transformation, it is highly recommended to go with the Synapse notebooks. If you have a small transformation, not that much complex, then you can go for the data flows. So anyhow, see, we will discuss all those things. We just completed around 10, like a 10 session, right? This is our 10th session only. We reached here. We have a lot more to discuss, right? So once we discuss the things, we'll come to know each and everything.
Yeah, and one more thing. I mean, you earlier mentioned that there is a global catch-all situation, right? Where if a particular pipeline and activity fails, we can always do a catch-all. Can you just point it to us as to where it can be done in the pipeline level?
So you want to basically know which activities failed, right? So you want to capture that message. See, to capture that, it is not direct, straightforward, one step to do. You need to add some kind of a variables to that particular variable. You keep adding this particular activity, whatever activities failed. You need to put those connection details. So connection means I told you like few days ago, same question somebody asked. So for them, I have explained the way how it will work is if I have a activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4 like this. So if this is failed means this will be skipped. Okay, so you need to put a one relation saying if with this combination anything happened, you capture that message. In this message, you will say if the status of this you will take. If the status of this is failed means you say this is a failed activity. So next you will put this is a failed. If this is failed means these activities will not execute. Again, this will be skipped. If this is failed, this is skipped means you can run this activity. Again, you will capture a saying that this particular thing is failed. So for that, I have shown you today itself, right? Success, failed, completion, and what else we have seen, and skipped. So that particular connections you need to give here. Getting here. So we have this, right? For example, go inside here. Okay, let's say you have multiple things, sequential of activities here. What you want to do, you want to put some variable here. So set variable, for example, you will put something like this. Okay, if this is skipped, okay, if this is failed, okay, you run this set variable. It will, what it does, it basically, if this is skipped means it is failed, that's why it is skipped. So with this combination this will run and it is clearly state that copy activity is failed. But let's say other category, what you can do is you can say that if the failed SP is failed, okay, this is the only relation. Getting? So maybe if the stored procedure is failed, you take this. If the stored procedure is skipped and this is failed means in that case also you run this. Now what happens? Whether it is failed or it is failed, set variable will run. In the set variable, you are going to check the copy activity status. Whether if it is failed means you have a conditions again. If 1 equal to 1, so if the condition is true means say that copy activity is failed. Okay, otherwise SP is failed. So like that you need to put. I am not sure how much you can able to understand at this point. Okay. So like that for each level you need to put this. Clear?
Yeah, so you have to use connections to catch the like exceptions basically.
Yes, you need to catch those things. So this set variable basically will catch all those things. So this set variable, the scope of this set variable is entire pipeline. So in this pipeline, what you can do is you can, if you want to pass it all these particular error message to a another pipeline where we are capturing all these error details, global error details. So that particular pipeline you need to call it from this by using execute pipeline activity, and you need to pass all these details to that master pipeline where you are collecting all the failure details. So that particular pipeline will take these details and it will update it in the global variables. Getting?
Okay, thank you. I will try to do some lab on this and check out. If I have any more questions, I will ask.
Sure, sure. Any other questions, team?
Hi, sir. So
Yes.
basically, this pipeline, whatever we built so far, okay, that is absolutely fine. Okay. In a real time, if I want to build the same pipeline, the same all activities and everything, even with the logic apps monitoring of how that execution happens. In real time, it takes minimum 1 week to 2 weeks in real time. How we check how quickly we can build these pipelines?
See,
What are
building
our
pipeline
experiences?
in real time and here only the difference is that there is a lot of dependencies. So linked service is something which you need to know. You need to know what is your source, what is your sync, and you also need to understand the requirement. See, this is one of the requirement I defined for you. But why in real time it takes 1 week or 10 days or 20 days to build same pipeline is you need to get the exact requirement. Once you get the requirement, you need to see which activity you need to fit where. You need to arrange all those activities and you need to do some kind of a POC. In order to do that POC, you need to have a linked services ready. They mostly in most of the project linked service will be created by the admin people and make it available for us. Okay, so you need to see whether linked services are available or not. If it is not available, you are not the person to create. You need to send a mail. They may respond saying that we are checking with the client team, we will create. So this kind of delay will be there because we have a dependence with other team. We are not the, it's not a startup where everything will be building by you to do the things very quickly. We can't do anything in the real time. So those and all, there is a process, like different teams involved. You need to ask them to do their work. Once their work is completed, then you can start your work. That is the dependencies, everything you need to resolve. Okay, that we can't control anything in our, nothing is there in our hand to complete. Only thing is once you get all the requirements, you need to do the proper design and to build a pipeline quickly, you need to practice more such type of scenarios so that when you have a proper requirement, you can design the pipelines quickly because you have understanding on each activity. Okay.
Okay. And what are the sources we are going to be dealing in future? Okay. Right now we are taking only SQL Server DB, Oracle, Cosmos DB,
So we will
and
discuss
what kind of
things. We will discuss Snowflake. We will discuss on-premise SQL Server, file system, REST API, many other things we'll discuss. Okay.
okay, okay. So out of this session,
Thing
okay, what
is, I
exactly is the
request you.
content which is used?
Tell me, tell me.
Okay, fine.
No, no, no. Tell me, tell me. Sam sir, tell me. No, what I'm saying is future things. Don't worry because you are seeing the training every day. I'm teaching you something new. Definitely, you will learn all the required things. If something is really wanted to see, you can ask at the end. I am saying. So don't worry about the future things. What we are discussing. Only thing is every day whatever labs you are covering, you can practice. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can ask. Feel free to ask any question. Not an issue. Tell me, sir. Sam,
Okay,
sir.
Malak, sorry, just a request. Is it possible for you to also cover integration with Power BI, if time permits?
Integration with the Power BI, I don't think ADF can directly connect. Our data sources can connect in like a data lake storage, SQL database. So
I
integration.
mean, this is kind of something like a new feature. Yeah, you see, it says even here you see a new link service called Power BI.
I'm not sure, but I need to look into this. I'll see that. I think this is Synapse, right? That's a Synapse has the Power BI direct connector, but in the Azure Data Factory, I don't think you have the connector available.
Oh,
We will
okay,
see.
okay, okay.
Okay. Any other questions, team? Fine. If no questions, then thank you all. Final call team, any questions?
Do we have class tomorrow?
No, tomorrow and day after tomorrow I'm giving break because many people are pinging and asking for a break. So you
Okay.
all people has to ask. See, earlier only Narayana was asking. I thought, okay, only Narayana is required break. You people are just pinging personally. What normally in the group people will think is I'm taking more leaves. So yesterday, 2 days back, I have given 1 day break for you as you are asking. Again, people like sequentially asking, right? See, anything you put it in the group so that people understand. There are some people, maybe I am not telling anything else, they will just listen, they will not practice. For them, they want to continue the training quickly, but there are some people who are practicing the things, so they basically ask more time to practice the things. So because giving the break is basically lost to me, because I need to complete the training quickly, right, so that I can have another batch. So that's how normally trainer will think. But as you people are requesting, I am giving the break, that everybody has to understand and spend time and practice and learn the things. Okay. So I
Okay.
am not taking the any break for me. I am giving the break just for you people, as you are asking. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. If no more questions, then thank you. Thank you. That's all for today.